Saturday afternoon in South Florida. Lots of things to do and some baseball to see. The Marlins and the Rockies in a weekend series. This is a 4-game series. The Marlins have taken the first 2 and played very well in doing it. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, joined by Preston Wilson. Preston, how are you? Good to see you, buddy.
Good. It's nice to be up here with you guys, man.
All right, well, let's go right out of the chute and talk hitting. The Marlins have played well in these 2 games against the Rockies. One tweak in the lineup has Christian Yelich in the 3 spot, hitting in front of Giancarlo Stanton. Small sample size theater, but the results have been there.
Well, I like what I've seen so far, and this is simply a case of addition by subtraction. You subtract at-bats for Giancarlo Stanton. He's moved down in the 4 hole, so that means less at-bats for him. But you get the addition of having this bat in the top of your lineup. He's going to get better pitches to hit, and you're going to see that average creeping up. And when you put a guy like Christian Yelich up there, you're going to have so much more traffic on the bases for your big guy in the 4 hole.
And, of course, Yelich in the 2 games here has shined not only with the bat but also on the bases. Swiped a bag yesterday. These are the numbers, his career numbers. Tommy, as you profile these, it's a small sample size, but obviously you'd like to get him back where he was last year.
Yeah, I really think, Rich, that most people profiled Christian Yelich as a number 3 hitter because of his swing, his potential to hit some home runs, and his speed ahead of the big guy.
The Marlins, in beating the Rockies in the first 2 games of this series, got terrific starts. Now the question is, can they get that from Matt Latos, who comes off the disabled list? He has had a rocky year so far.
Rich, I think it's really important that the big guy, Matt Latos, 6'6", has himself a good start. And from this point on, if he can pitch the way he has in his career, here's a guy who 3 times has won 14 or more games. He's 12 games over 500 in his career. So Matt Latos is needed in the rotation to be consistent and pitch the way he has in the past.
You get a start from Urania, from Phelps. When the starting pitching goes 7 and gets you good outings, it's amazing how everything works.
Well, someone once said, to paraphrase, momentum is the next day's starter. I look at Latos today, I look for 2 things. One, how they're picking up the ball out of his hand. He has that very high release point. Some hitters don't pick it up very well. Secondly, I look for his command in the strike zone. He throws strikes, but he can't be wild in the strike zone.
And we look for you to hang around. This should be fun. It's the Marlins and the Rockies. Fish trying to make it 3 in a row. It is Bart at the Park on a selfie Saturday. Marlins and Rockies. How about the at-bat from Marcelo Zuna? For the at-bat he had last night. Let's go out to center field to Craig and Niner, guys.
All right, Rich, the Marlins lineup is taking a different shape thanks to Christian Yelich, the number 3 spot, is picking the average up big time, and Marcell Ozuna behind Stanton is on his best roll of the season.
Yeah, riding a 13-game hitting streak. He had one of the best at-bats of the year last night from any player, not only himself. Let's take a look at what he did last night, pitch by pitch. I almost cringed when I saw him take this first pitch fastball right down the middle. All right, then he goes 0-2 on the outside corner. And then he just decided to let's settle in here. Almost just misses a home run by inches. Almost hits a foul pole.
Yeah.
Absolute rocket down the line. Would have been a double. Works it to a 3-2 count. And then bam, right here. An RBI single up the middle. An absolute rocket. That's 3 hard hit balls in 1 single at bat. You hope to do that in an entire night of at bats. And he did it in 1. Very impressive.
Mentally, too. Not only was the ball just foul, but they called it a home run fair. So he thought he had a 2-run homer, and then he's got to get called out after a review. Mentally, that's how difficult is that to come back from that? And the double that was foul.
That's tough. You're elated. I mean, it would have been only his 4th home run of the year.
First at home.
You float around the bases. I just hit a 2-run homer, and I got a call back with Christian Yelich on second base, and he comes up with an absolute rocket to center field to score him. So all in all, worked out to be one of the best at-bats of the year.
13-game hit streak is averaged near 290 now. He's driving him some runs. Yelich as well, and the Marlins offense is looking pretty good here. Don't forget JT as well. Hey, Matt Latos is back on the mound. Start number 10 for the Fish as they go for their 3rd in a row over Colorado next on Fox Sports Florida.
Florida is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places by Kaiser University. For more information, go to kaiser.edu. And by AutoNation, save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit AutoNation.com. A glimpse of downtown Miami. That is a big dog. Marmaduke is here. As the Marlins and the Rockies get set to go. Yes, it is Bark at the Park, so lots of pooches. And you've got the Rockies and the Marlins. J.M. Lexus brings you their starting lineup for those Colorado Rockies. DJ LeMahieu's hot. Corey Dickerson just off the DL. Troy Tulowitzki on a nice hit streak. Kyrgo is in right field. Nolan Arenado's at third base. Ben Paulson at first. Michael McHenry will do the catching. Brandon Barnes finds himself in center field. And David Hale, a guy that's been a bullpen and starter, gets a start against the Marlins.
Now, the last time, Rich, for Matt Latos on a major league mound was May 21st against Arizona. 5 1/3, gave up 7 hits and 6 runs. He has pitched well in his career against the Rockies, 5-2 in 9 career starts against Colorado.
DJ LeMahieu in the box. Matt Latos ready to go. And the first pitch of Game 3 of the weekend series. It's a fastball that misses out. Pinch a penny brings you that first pitch. DJ LeMahieu, Corey Dickerson, and Troy Tulowitzki. This is a formidable offensive lineup that Latos goes against this afternoon. LeMahieu takes a strike. Paul Schreiber calling balls and strikes with fielding Colbreth, Jim Reynolds, and Manny Gonzalez out there. 6-0 Marlins in Game 1, 5-1 last night in Game 2.
Hey, if you like hitting and you like second baseman, this is a game for you. You got DJ LeMahieu hitting 349. You got D. Gordon hitting 355. This is a game for if you like that combination.
It's not often you see second basemen atop the National League hitting charts. LeMahieu third. That's fouled into the glove of Jeff Mathis, and not a bad way to start it for Matt Latos.
We talk about Matt Latos a lot with that 6'6" frame. How he has that terrific downward plane over the top. Made a number of really good pitches in the at bat to LeMahieu. It's just a good sign. Kept that ball down. The ball moves well. That's where he needs to be.
I'm impressed with the velocity. That last pitch was 95 miles an hour, and with that location, those are good signs.
Well, Miami's had very nice starting pitching. David Phelps, 8 innings, no runs. Jose Urena, 6 2/3, 1 run. 2 nice starts to get the 2 wins as Corey Dickerson goes to that back knee on a big swing and a miss.
One of the keys, Rich, between Phelps and Urena, just 1 walk.
Which is the formula, obviously, guys, for pitching at Coors Field. Don't walk anybody. The Marlins were pretty good at that in taking the series in Denver, and they've continued their good play against the Rockies. They've won 4 of the 5 games between the two this year. Dickerson, a nice package of offensive tools, some power, some speed.
Well, the Rockies have always been able to find and develop hitters. Their bugaboo has been able to find consistent starting pitching that they can groom up through their minor league system. They've had guys like Aaron Cook, Jason Jennings, who was rookie year at one point.
Jeff Francis,
but
Pedro Estacio.
Exactly. They just haven't been able to maintain that, to get that good string of players to constantly come along. Every now and then they find one, but they haven't been able to do that consistently.
Actually, a guy the Marlins will see tomorrow, Jorge De La Rosa. Done a pretty good job for them the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, he's one guy that's kind of bucked that trend. He's been able to maintain, as you point out. Boy, Matt Latos is dealing, isn't he? Right out of the chute, right off the disabled list. He's punched out the first 2 that he's faced. Miami's defense tonight.
Well, we've seen some really nice defensive plays in this series already. Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton in the outfield. Martin Prado, Echeverria, D. Gordon at second base. Great double play combination. Justin Bour will be over at first, and Jeff Mathis handles Matt Latos.
Now Troy Tulowitzki, who carries an 11-game hit streak into the ball game. And he sends that one down the right field line. It's a long run for Stanton, and he is there. Did he get it? Yes! Giancarlo Stanton with a sliding catch in foul territory ends the top of the first. He can hit him out, and he can go get him. catch to finish off the top of the first. And he's due up fourth to start the bottom of the first. Jam Lexus brings you Miami's lineup. D. Gordon had a hit yesterday. Martin Prado had a homer yesterday. Christian Yelich has had a nice series. Stanton's 5-game streak, and he's done major damage. Marcell Ozuna had the at-bat of the year, as we showed you earlier. Justin Bour's at first. Jeff Mathis will do the catching. And Danny Echeverria is in the 8th spot, and Matt Latos is slotted 9th.
Yeah, there's a look at David Hale. The Marlins have seen him a little bit. They saw him when he was an Atlanta Brave, but he pitched mostly out of the bullpen. In his work against the Marlins in his career, though, 9 innings, no runs, just 7 hits. Not overpowering.
A Princeton product out of Marietta, Georgia. It's D. Gordon, Martin Prado, Christian Yelich. And Gordon fouls it off. Gordon had the day off, or the night off, I should say, on Thursday night. Came back. Was 1 for 4 yesterday. Danny Echeverria had quite a night up in the leadoff spot 2 nights ago. And Gordon laces that one into left field. That's a base hit. From the start of spring training until now, there's been a lot of those line drive hits from D. Gordon. Rockies defense.
Yeah, we'll check on the defense. Corey Dickerson, you talked about his athletic ability. Brandon Barnes starts in center. 3 gold gloves for Cargo and right. Arenado and Tulowitzki, they have gold. LeMahieu, Ben Paulson's at first, and Michael McHenry does the catching. Yeah, hit number 90 for D. Gordon.
Home run number 4 for Martin Prado in yesterday's ball game. And of course, you've got Gordon with 21 stolen bases at first.
Prado's just such a good 2-hole hitter. I think this lineup is starting to work itself out. Yelich hitting third in front of Stanton. Prado, he's your prototypical 2-hole hitter. He can do everything you want a guy to do in that spot. And D. Gordon up at the top, getting on, causing havoc on the bases. I like the look of the top of this lineup.
Well, remember, there was a time that Martin Prado was hitting cleanup, but certainly best suited for that number 2 hole.
As well, there was a time where Yelich was hitting in front of Stanton, but it was second, and Stanton was in the 3 spot. There's a strike. Of course, every lineup looks a lot better, works a lot better when guys are hitting.
And I understand the fact of you want Giancarlo to hit third ideally because he's that type of guy. He's a Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire type guy that's that type of presence. But for the sake of this lineup, I think this is the best fit right now.
Gordon away from first, and the throw over.
Of course, the interesting thing about McGwire hitting third, that's when La Russa had the pitcher hitting 8th. So in essence, he was like a number 4 guy.
And La Russa would say you're only the leadoff hitter the first at bat of the game. After that, it's just the lineup rolling over.
La Russa would continue that, obviously, with Albert Pujols in the 3 spot. Pitch out, and Gordon's not running anywhere.
Sometimes a pitcher gives away a pitch out. If he doesn't have his normal delivery to the plate, and it looked like Hale gave it away. And if you have some smarts, which D. Gordon does at first base, he's just going to stay there.
We had old pitcher coach Al Jackson. He told his guys, do not slide step on the pitch out. Your catcher's already up, getting ready to throw it.
Gordon's running. Got a good jump. McHenry's throw, not nearly in time.
Tommy was dead on that. On that pitch out, he barely lifted up his leg and threw it, and D. Gordon read it a mile away. That time he had his normal delivery. Look how high he picks up his leg. Can't give it away like that.
We saw D. Gordon steal a bag last night, and he did the head first slide. I talked to him briefly in the clubhouse, and he said it's really an instinctive thing. Yes, he's trying to slide feet first more, but every once in a while the head first slide just comes out.
Well, I can tell you right now, sometimes just your momentum, it leads you into sliding head first. Every now and then, if you're conscious enough of it and you know you got that bag, you might go feet first. But sometimes just the way your body lean is working, you just fall into it.
2-1 to Prado. Gordon at second. It's fouled back to the screen. David Hale has made 11 career starts And as Tommy pointed out, 39 relief appearances. What pops up on his scouting report?
Well, an Ivy Leaguer. You mentioned he's from Princeton. 90s, low 90s. Has some sink to it. A good changeup. In a way, you were talking to some Rockies folks, Preston, and in a way they described him a little harder with the fastball than a Kyle Kendrick, but very similar.
Yeah, I was down with one of their advanced scouts, Chris Warren, and he was telling me this guy's exactly that. And he has to pitch on the fringes to have success. He has to throw strikes, but he can't be in the middle of the strike zone. Even though he has a little bit more velocity than Kendrick, he still doesn't have as much movement to get away with being in the middle of the strike zone.
2-2 pitch misses. Doesn't count full on Prado. You got Yelich and then Stanton waiting in the wings. Marlins and Rockies. This is a 4-game series and on a Saturday afternoon. Game 3 here. The Marlins have won the first 2. Time called. And it was the catcher that called it. McHenry called time. And you see the home plate umpire, Paul Schreiber, point to McHenry. He doesn't want David Hale to feel like Martin Prado was trying to mess with his routine out there.
I guarantee, too, even on a 3-2 pitch, Prado's thinking about getting something to the right side.
Prado takes down, and here comes Yelich.
Yeah, that pitch right there is 91 miles an hour. That's pretty much where they like for him to pitch. They like for him to pitch high 80s, low 90s. He has hit 94 this year, but they don't like when he overthrows, his ball straightens out even more. So they like when he's pitching around 90, 91.
Of all the players from last year's Marlin team to this year's Marlin team, whose responsibilities have changed in the lineup, as long as we're talking lineup, it's this guy. Christian Yelich last year had that freedom of being on the top of the lineup, use that pitch selectivity, try to get on base, drive the ball. A strike, and it's 0-1. Now, at bats vary certainly by situation. But guys, in talking to you two who hit in the big leagues, so much of it is psychological, isn't it? I mean, where you are in the order and what you're expected to do.
There's some guys who can only hit in some spots in the lineup. Then there's some guys who, when you're young like that, it can kind of play with your mind a little bit, because last year he was one of the top guys as far as pitches seen per at bat in that leadoff hole, and he changed greatly and did a great job there. When you start moving him around, and now the responsibility changes. Now I may be asked to drive in more runs. Do they want me to hit for more power? Do I have to be the same guy? All of that comes into play.
Yelich shoots that one in the hole. Tulowitzki dives, gets it out at second. And so a hard shot. Nice play by the Gold Glover, Tulowitzki. Stanton now with runners at the corners and 1 out.
You see how Tulowitzki's shaded over. He's thinking double play. Makes a great pick. LeMahieu knows he doesn't have a chance for 2. Tulowitzki, he rolled over a little on that thumb. No chance for double play, so LeMahieu pops up and looks at the runner at third right away.
I like the awareness by LeMahieu right there. You got a guy that can run. Don't throw that ball. Only bad things can happen when you try to get a guy out that's got that good of speed on that type of play.
Speed at the corners and power at the plate. Stanton takes a slider that misses away.
And just to give you this, 6 of Giancarlo's 22 home runs this year have been in the first inning.
He's got a 5-game hit streak, and he's hit 4 homers in those 5 games. Infield shifted towards third base side. Stanton left field. That ball's deep to the wall. Dickerson off the wall. Bounces into center. Gordon will score. Here comes Yelich. They will send him, and he will score. And Miami has a 2-0 lead. A 390-foot RBI double for Giancarlo Stanton. For some reason, he just seems extremely aggressive in the first inning, and he has been on just about every pitch this series. Drives this ball. We talked about Dickerson and the kind of outfielder he is. I think Stanton thought he may have gotten it, and it got over the head of Dickerson.
Most other places, home run. This time a double and a couple of RBIs.
Hit that ball 390 feet and hit it off the end of the bat. He didn't hit that ball right on the screws at all. That's just a guy with tremendous power.
Now Ozuna. And Hale gets a strike.
Bottom line, 2 more RBIs, 57 RBIs for Giancarlo Stanton.
A dozen doubles on the season, a 6-game streak for Stanton. Ozuna's hit streak is at 13 games. And as you saw, Craig and Jeff Conine dissect his at bat yesterday. Just an epic AB. Stanton's going to go to third on the throw over to first. A nice instinctive play. Ozuna's out on the play by Nolan Arenado. And here comes Justin Bour with Stanton 90 feet away.
Preston, that is a good instinctive play. There are a lot of runners that have Stanton's speed and ability, but don't think about that. Don't make that play.
Well, base running is a want-to type of thing. You have to want to be a good base runner. It's not about how fast you are, how many bases you can steal. That's different from base running. Those are things you pay attention into in your drills, during your batting practice. See a guy going to the line like that. You know if that throw is made, it's not going to make that trip back across the diamond.
Justin Bour now. Changeup floats outside. Bour 1 for 3 in the series. Has cooled off a bit. League has adjusted to Bour. Now he's in the process trying to adjust back to the league. And a lot of it deals with that pitch right there. Right-hander with a good changeup, keeping it off the plate.
Well, the adjustment that he has to make is being a left-handed hitter. He's got to make that righty whose ball fades away from him. He's got to look more up and in. He's got to look inside part of strike zone and look up. Because now the ball that he chases that's away is actually down the middle. If he sets his sights down the middle against bad pitchers like that, he's going to be chasing that changeup that we've seen him chase off the plate, that sinker that's fading away, chase that. That's more of a mental adjustment as far as thinking about where you set your eyes.
Well, Weiss figures behind the count 2-0, might as well walk Bour and bring Jeff Mathis up.
I'll give you an opposite example. Against Kevin Brown, I used to look away to pull because his ball ran into me so much. I didn't want the ball in because it would just break my bat. So I would look away and try to pull, and hopefully the ball would end up down the middle.
Man, you mean you hit Kevin Brown?
Got him a couple times. Not often.
Mathis takes away. Mathis last start came on Wednesday, had a couple hits and a double up in Toronto. Marlins swept by the Blue Jays, who just keep winning, by the way, after scoring 9 runs in the 7th inning yesterday in a dramatic win over Boston. Toronto's win streak is at 9 straight, and they're tied with the Red Sox in the bottom of the 9th, 4-4 up at Fenway.
Boy, that guy who impressed us up there, Josh Donaldson, had 3 hits last night at Fenway. Justin Smoak, 3 hits with a home run.
2-0 coming to Mathis. His little dribbler is wide of the line. Lenny Harris picks it up. Got the lefty going tomorrow, so JT Realmuto. If you're Dan Jennings, you figure, all right, you're going to split the weekend between Mathis and Realmuto. Realmuto caught last night. Mathis catching Matt Latos, and that may have had something to do with the decision as well. 2-1 pitch coming. The roller up the middle. LeMahieu hangs out behind the bag a lot against right-handed bats, and that ends the inning. But Miami is on the board. 2 more RBIs for Big G.
Por West Kendall Toyota.
Marlins Park, Giancarlo Stanton. Top of the wall shot in left center to drive in 2. It goes as a double, and Miami's off to a 2-0 start behind Matt Latos, who looked exceptionally sharp in the first inning. Preston pointed out velocity. Tommy pointed out movement. He struck out LeMahieu and Dickerson. And got Tulowitzki on a foul pop. Stanton made the great sliding catch in right. Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado, Ben Paulson all lined up to get their swings at Matt Latos in the second.
Big shift on with Carlos Gonzalez. We have seen him. This is a situation where he might be thinking about. We have seen him on occasion try to bunt just to get a base hit against the shift.
That was no bunt. That was a typical cargo swing, as the Marlins do on a left-handed shift. Prado, until there's a strike, stays on the left side of the diamond. Once the likelihood of a bunt, which isn't very likely, diminishes further, he and Echeverria will switch. Good pitch by Latos.
Again, 93 on that fastball.
He just looks more crisp. Everything about it looks tighter. Like if you're looking at a television in standard definition, it's a picture, but it's not a great picture. Right now, the Latos we're seeing is an HD Latos. Everything looks sharp and clear and crisp.
Mathis held it. How about that? That's you talk about athletic catchers, and Mathis certainly is. Former infielder, a high school quarterback. Watch this.
Boy, he just goes right down, picked it, and then quickly shows Paul Schreiber, the home plate umpire. There it is.
That is close. Ooh, I think he got away with one. A little bit of a dirt trail into the glove, but he sold it well.
And he kind of camouflaged it from the dugout. You saw the Rockies dugout. Their eyes were right there, but the way his body turned, he kind of kept them from seeing it.
Look, I think one of the things that instant replay has done for everybody around the game, in the game and around the game, is show you how good the umpires are and show you how difficult the game is to umpire regardless. I mean, that call right there, you're standing behind the guy. You're listening for sound because there's no way you can see that. And there's no way a base umpire can see that definitively either.
Yeah, but I think that's the argument that managers have all the time. Ask for help because we know you can't see that.
Well, we couldn't see it either until we slowed it down, right?
Yeah.
This is his view.
Yeah. So you know he's behind it. The catcher's bent forward over, body's hunched over. He's trying to guess at a lot of things.
And you also saw there was no argument from Carlos Gonzalez either.
Latos has struck out 3 of the 4 he's faced. Arenado 0 for 7 in the series. Laces that one into left field, a base hit. Nolan Arenado is aboard. The Yankees are coming, and you can come see him on Monday and Tuesday nights. Save money, get the best seats available. You can do it with a prorated season ticket plan. Starts at just $15 a game. 1-877-Marlins. Go to marlins.com and secure your seats today. 7:10 on Monday, 7:10 on Tuesday. If you're coming to the ballpark, come on down early. Walk around Marlins Park. Lots of places to eat. 3 of the 4 parking garages have been sold out. So if you do have tickets and you're watching the game right now, it's really easy to get parking. Just log on to marlins.com/parking and come on down early. Beat the traffic. See the ballpark? Go out to the Budweiser bar and have a cold one while the Yankees are taking batting practice. Ben Paulson, big left-handed bat out of Clemson, and he fouls that one off.
Maybe a little Burger 305, maybe a little taste of Miami.
You guys are making me hungry. It's not hard to do. I got some good stuff down there in that Taste of Miami. Got the good Cuban sandwiches down there.
Oh. Pork nachos are pretty good too.
The Yankees are pretty good too. 33-27 going into their game tonight with CC Sabathia on the mound. It's Bud Norris in Baltimore. That one flipped to left. Yelich charging in, and he makes the catch. And here comes Michael McHenry in that East, and the Marlins have been living in the East a little bit, haven't they? With 3 in Toronto and 4 in a row coming up with the Yankees.
I think, Rich, it hasn't been official, but I think the Marlins are going to see Masahiro Tanaka and possibly Nate Eovaldi.
Henry takes down low. Nathan Eovaldi. Well, that'll be interesting. There are your East standings. The Blue Jays, with a 9-game win streak, have rocketed 2 over and are 2 back, and are tied in extras right now 4-4 in Boston. The Rays have had an incredible ride with all that they've lost, especially starting pitching to injury. Counts 2-0, and of course the Marlins welcoming back Matt Latos, and for Miami they're hopeful he's the first of 4 guys that rejoin the rotation. Jared Cozart, Jose Fernandez continue their rehab starts, and Henderson Alvarez just starting his throwing program.
I don't know if any other team can say they've lost 4 starting pitchers. At this point of the season, still only 7 games back. I don't think anybody would think that's possible. So the Marlins got to feel very fortunate that they got a chance that if they can tread water here a little bit and stay in the mix, once they get their full complement of pitchers back, they can make a move.
2-1 coming to McHenry. Tommy, great news just watching and hearing about Jose Fernandez yesterday.
Yeah, last night up in Jupiter at Roger Dean Stadium, 5 innings. He was throwing between 94 98, 4 strikeouts, no runs, had the confidence, had that look that we saw so often. And I'm sure those kids that were playing behind him had an absolute ball.
That's a strike. I'm sure they ate well as well. And Jose, when he was on with us about 2 weeks ago, said he was looking forward to, when he made his rehab starts, wherever the starts may be, ponying up for a nice spread. That's the tradition when a major leaguer comes to the minor leagues. And Jose said he enjoyed it when Giancarlo was down on a rehab and he was in single A. Pitch is down low. Latos walks him. Runners first and second.
Rich, that's only the 2nd time that the Rockies in this series have had more than 1 base runner on any inning.
It's only the 2nd time that the Rockies have drawn a walk in this series. There's Brandon Barnes, who finds himself in center field and in the 8th spot.
Yeah, Marlins fans, if you missed the first 2 games of this series, you missed 2 absolute gems pitched by starting pitchers. And Phelps and Urania last night with his start.
Barnes takes a fastball for a strike. I think Urania's progress, just watching him last 2 starts, is a great example of when a rookie gets to the big leagues. You can't judge him whether he's great or average. You can't judge those first few starts. You got to see him pitch.
he has confidence, and you talk to the starting pitchers and you hear them often give credit to Dan Herron, the veteran who pitches tomorrow, but give credit to Dan Herron just for his little help, things he has to say.
One's out, and Latos has fallen behind. T-Mobile game changer, Jose Urena. Last night's first major league win. He was in a position to do that his last start, and it didn't work out. But 81 pitches, 53 of those strikes, and no walks. And no questioning the umpires either. Something that Chuck Hernandez lectured him on, remember, in his last start in Colorado.
All of a sudden now, Matt Latos, the stuff is still there, but losing a little bit of the command he had in that first inning.
Chuck Hernandez.
This is when, as a pitching coach, you hope that your pitcher figures out for himself. But if not, you have don't try to be too fine. You got good stuff today. You don't have to be that far on the edge of the strike zone. And I think that's what Latos has fallen into now.
Barnes going after a fastball.
I think if you're a pitcher, and it's easier said than for the pitchers to do out there, but if you're a pitcher and you have the defense the Marlins have, and you're pitching in this ballpark, you shouldn't worry about if you miss a little bit. Just go right after, a little movement, let the defense take over, let the ballpark take over once in a while.
Movement on this 3-2 pitch on the bases, and they'll do it again. Miami getting a couple runs in the bottom of the first on a Giancarlo Stanton RBI double. There's that downward plane we talk about. Paul Schreiber.
He didn't even flinch.
Off the right shoulder, he's tough.
Three-two. Little tapper. Prado. Bare hands, no throw. Bags are loaded for the pitcher, David Hale. Now the Marlins think that it was a foul ball. Everyone on the infield is converging on the mound. Dan Jennings checking with Schreiber.
Honestly, I wouldn't complain about this. I would let this go.
Because you have the pitcher coming up.
And have Latos face the pitcher. Why are we fighting this battle? Let Latos face the pitcher right here. I don't want him facing a position player.
Did it hit the bat twice?
Yes, it did.
That could be the question.
Not something, in my understanding, that they can look at instant replay for.
But you can't ask the umpire crew to have another look.
Yes, and they are. They're both the third base and the first base umpire. Manny Gonzalez at third, Fielding Colbreth at first. And it's a foul ball.
Yeah, probably the umpire first, Fielding Colbreth, who's the crew chief. He has the best look at that from where he stands. And I think he has the overriding decision. And no argument from Barnes either.
Well, I hold on to your argument, Tommy. I'd rather see him face the pitcher, even though it would be bases loaded. I'd rather see him face the pitcher than have to deal with a position player again. Especially with the base runners moving, with a full count, 2 outs. As soon as he picks up, those runners are going to be on the go.
Oh, another 3-2. To left, Yelich over there, and he makes the catch. And Matt Latos escapes the second. 2-0 Miami. Telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins, or that dog with the cool sunglasses, or the Dachshunds who are wearing the ice cream batting helmets. We'll find those. We'll find those shortly. That's a tradition in Bark at the Park. Craig will find them. Danny Echeverria, Matt Latos, D. Gordon. Bottom two, David Hale. On the mound for the Rockies, Giancarlo Stanton drove in both runs with a towering double that slammed off the top of the wall out in deepest, darkest left center field. Echeverria takes outside. Etch with a slash line of 304, 332 for the on base, and a 415 slug, which means that he's got some extra base hits. He's got 11 doubles, couple triples, and 3 home runs.
Etch seems to be one guy, because he's bounced around a little bit in the order, mostly number 8, but he's hit second a couple of times, hit lead off the other night. Doesn't really seem to bother him. I think if you hit 8 for a long period of time, I think it makes you a better hitter.
Sort of trial by fire.
It forces you to be more aware of situations, because in the 8-hole with that pitcher behind you, there's some times where they're just absolutely not going to give you a pitch. There's some times where they will come after you, and I think the experience of that helps your eye, helps your situational awareness, and it helps your confidence as a hitter.
This would be one of those situations where a pitcher, you would think, would want to go after him, because as he leads off the inning, you don't want to walk him and allow the pitcher to bunt him to second.
Absolutely.
Jammed him. Little dribbler. Arenado's good over there, and his barehand throw just gets him. And we check in with Craig on the Rockies' third baseman, the Gold Glover.
He's something else. A lot of family here. He has both his mother and father of Cuban descent. He's got about 80 relatives here watching. That time he was running in, but Nolan Arenado has won the Gold Glove his first 2 years. He was the first rookie since 1957 at third to win the Gold Glove a couple of years ago. He told me and talked about playing that deep third base that he's known for, and he said it actually happened because he wasn't a very good fielder in the minors. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, my footwork wasn't very good, so I used to play deep. It gave me a little more time to come in, pick my spots. Here he is again on cue. He also talked about Jerry Weinstein as a coach in the Colorado system. Really helped him with his footwork, and because he played shortstop in high school, he always had a good arm, always works on his arm, and always throws from very deep on the grass, nearly on the dirt, to get the ball over to first. Very confident in the arm, but it was a work in progress, and now it's been a Gold Glove work the last couple of years. Guys?
I faced a Jerry Weinstein coach team, Sacramento City College. They were a junior college powerhouse. Arenado and Christian Yelich are buddies. They were high school all-star teammates. Latos and Echeverria have given Craig plenty to talk about, both grounding the ball to Arenado.
You know, with Latos hitting that routine ground ball, the Marlins missed his bat as well. Matt Latos now 4 for 10 on the year.
D. Gordon figures, hey, it's Nolan Arenado's inning. Craig may have a follow-up, so I may want to bunt. and
well, because Craig usually hangs in the third base camera well, so he may have been talking to Arenado. They might talk about your family on this 2-out on this hit, so make sure you make a couple of nice plays.
You know, it gives you an appreciation for how difficult the third base position is, though, for him to play third base shortstop in college and then say he has trouble with footwork at third base. It makes you appreciate the really good third baseman that we see in the major league, because that's a tough position. The ball plays you there.
I think it makes you appreciate the difficulty for players that get to this level to play on an everyday basis. All right, there are a whole lot of good college shortstops that might get to the big leagues, but maybe not as shortstops, because they have to transition to another position. Maybe they learn another spot.
David Hale works a 1-2-3 inning. Miami hanging on to a 2-0 lead, heading to the third.
Leiter looms as a history maker here. 30-year-old Al Leiter comes home. Struck him out. The Marlins have their first no-hitter in history. Al Leiter has done it. And the left-hander from New Jersey was
our timeless moment brought to you by Coors Banquet Beer. Al Leiter, the man he struck out to finish it, now coaching third base. EY senior. David Hale, DJ LeMahieu, and Corey Dickerson. I would think Al Leiter will be here come Monday night. We'll see a lot of them. The Yankees here for 2, and the Marlins going up to New York for 2.
Yeah, I believe he is. I believe he'll be part of the broadcast team, along with Michael Kay.
Got him. Down goes Hale. Latos, first time through the order, has 4 strikeouts, a walk, and a single by Nolan Arenado. And that's it.
You know, Al Leiter was one of those guys that when you're a rookie or a young guy in your first couple of years and you didn't know anything about a cutter of that magnitude, he cost the team a lot of money in bats, because he would just get in there on those righties, and that it just looked like the baseball had teeth coming in there when you're trying to hit that thing.
Echeverria across the diamond in time. And there are 2 outs here in the third. That brings up Corey Dickerson. Here's Dickerson now. You think about throwing a no-hitter in 1996. One of the toughest teams I would think to do that against, the Colorado Rockies.
And Walt Weiss, Dante Bichette, the big cat, Andres Galarraga threw out the first pitch here today. He was in that line.
Ellis Burks. El President, Benny Castillo. We called him Joe Montana. He used to yell at every time he threw the ball across the diamond, Joe Montana.
Why did you call him Joe Montana?
He called himself Joe Montana because everything he threw was right on the money.
Who are you, Dwight Clark? Here's the 0-2 to Dickerson. Miami had 11 runs and gave Leiter a 6-run cushion in the first inning.
You know what? I'm looking back at that box score. It's for Al Leiter, a very efficient game. He threw just 103 pitches.
One and two. Dan Jennings, Mike Goff, and the Marlins, after getting swept in Toronto. For this ball club, it's been that type of year. They'll win a series and then get swept, as they did in Toronto. Now they have a chance. Good fastball by Latos. And Dickerson strikes out. Marlins got the first 2 games of this 4-game set and are leading here in game 3. It's early, but Matt Latos looks sharp. Giancarlo's driven in 2. You're with us tonight, little Saturday afternoon leading into Saturday evening. The series concludes tomorrow. We've got first pitch around 1 o'clock, 12:30 for Marlins Live. And the Fish have played well here at home in this series, shutting out the Rockies 6-0 on Thursday and a 5-1 win last night. Into the meat of the order goes David Hale again, Martin Prado, Christian Yelich, and Giancarlo Stanton. Prado walked back in the first. The big blow, Stanton's double off the top of the wall that drove home 2. Oh, and 2.
Marlins have a couple of guys in the lineup that have had streaks against the Rockies. 17 consecutive games for Martin Prado. He's had a base hit against Colorado. Ozuna, 13 straight.
Now, some of those numbers you would think not real significant if it goes back 3, 4, 5 years. But since the Marlins and the Rockies have played 5 games in the last, 10 days, those numbers stand out a little more.
Yeah, when this series concludes, the Marlins and Rockies will have played 7 games against each other in a 10-day period, and then won't see each other the rest of the year. There's a perfect example if you run in against a team that's hot, or if you run in against a team that's cold.
David Hale off speed pitch strikes out Martin Prado. AT&T Rewind brought to you by AT&T Uverse, which has more live TV channels on the go than cable. Big Cat Andres Galarraga throwing out the first pitch. There were multiple first pitch, right? Ente de Zona, the Cuban entertainers, and you have Jose Fernandez and Henderson
Hey, there's
Alvarez.
some entertainers on the other side too.
That's true. A Venezuelan entertainer is Henderson Alvarez. And of course, Jose Fernandez in the dugout tonight. Yelich robbed of a hit on a diving stop by Tulowitzki. That's a little roller. It's a foul ball. Kennery trying to capture it before it went foul.
You know, Rich, in the days prior to Hit Tracker, Andres Galarraga, with the longest home run ever hit at Pro Player back in 1997, estimated at 529 feet. And against that guy you're talking about, Kevin Brown, that's that slider you wanted to get.
He hit it off Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown grunted, and then Galarraga grunted, and that ball ended up almost out of the whole stadium. Everybody was in. Oh, when that ball was leaving the ballpark, it got deathly quiet. It was so eerie because the ball was going so far, it almost became unbelievable.
You know, we see Giancarlo 470, 484. So it's hard to imagine, but then again, that was before Hit Tracker. Hit Tracker probably would have had it about 465.
Yeah, the Hit Tracker thing, I'm confounded sometimes by how it goes. You know, I don't know. I think all Hit Trackers are not created equally. I'll say that.
I don't know. On that one, I think Hit Tracker and StatCast or whatever would get way up there. Now let's see who's in the shot again. It's EY.
Eric Young, Quentin McCracken.
Yeah. He's like, man, really? I hit it up there? Well, guys, after giving up those couple runs early, David Hale is really starting to settle out a little bit. He's starting to get a better feel for that changeup. I'm starting to see him get that more in the zone more, getting ahead of Marlins hitters.
Let's see if he throws it 3-2 to Yelich. Outside corner. Down goes Yelich. And the bases are clear as Stanton comes up with 2 outs.
Well, he just painted a fastball. He did not go with the changeup, but just made a perfect pitch. A little two-seamer, moved away.
Yeah. When you look at Hale, I see him as a product of that Braves mentality of pitching. Not afraid of the changeup, prefers movement over velocity, and really is one of those guys, be efficient, throw strikes, keep your team in the game.
Now Stanton, we'll see what he gets to hit here. He blasted one off the top of the wall for a 2-run double. 57 runs driven in. Tops in baseball.
16 of his last 22 hits have been for extra bases. 6 doubles and 10 home runs.
That's power. That's power hitter's happy zone right there. Whenever you make contact, you're doing a lot of damage. That's something that you really don't see that much righty on righty, is throwing that changeup, and that's a product of the Braves organization as well. Tom Glavine used to do it to lefties. He throw lefty on lefty's changeup, lefty on lefty changeup. It used to be sort of taboo. You don't do that. You don't throw that to the same side batter, but they make it work.
3-0 pitch is out. Stanton walks, and it will give Ozuna a crack here in the third. 2-0 Miami on top. Marcell Ozuna, who had an epic at bat in yesterday's ball game. He was behind in the count 0-2, promptly hit one out of the ballpark. It was called a home run, and then upon replay, overturned as a foul ball. So he got back in the box, then hit a bullet down the left field line that was fouled by inches. Stayed in the at bat, fouled off a few more pitches, and then drilled one into center field. And that was an RBI hit.
Not too often, Preston, do you have 3 good swings and hit the ball hard 3 times during one AB.
No, that never happens. You hope to have that over a game to try to get that good solid contact 3 times in a row.
Arenado on to second to LeMahieu. Miami done in the 3rd. 2-0. Fish. In the 4th. You can take advantage of prorated season ticket plans. Get the best seats for upcoming series, which include the Yankees and the Red Sox. Limited seating remains in the $15 per seat season ticket plan. That includes a free Marlins jersey for every 2 seats purchased. Go to marlins.com/2015 tickets. Call 1-877-MARLINS. Troy Tulowitzki, Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado. Tulowitzki goes after a high fastball.
We've talked about streaks. Tulowitzki working on an 11-game streak, and it's been a big streak. 455, 5 home runs during that time.
I was out there in Colorado when this kid got drafted. He had a good frame, but he's filled out. And I tell you, to see the progress from being a kid to get drafted to being able to be that type of defensive and offensive shortstop, it's nice when you get to see a kid grow that way. You know, and he's not a kid anymore. He's a man now. But it's nice to be able to say that I saw him when he got drafted, and now to see this, it's really impressive.
A swing and a miss by Tulowitzki. And Matt Latos continues his mastery of the Rockies here, bouncing back. Before the ballgame, we heard from Latos yesterday on tape, was talking about his start, and he said hopefully this stop in the minor leagues, this injury rehab, will help me reset, and it sure looks like it has.
What a boost it will be for the rotation if Matt Latos can get consistent and pitch the way he has today. And if you look at his last start in the minor leagues, it wasn't that impressive, but he was getting his work in. He went just 4 2/3 innings, gave up 1 run, but he walked 5, but he threw 99 pitches, so he was getting his work in.
Speaking of getting your work in and getting it in early, Seattle and Houston yesterday, King Felix was knocked out in the first inning. Today, Seattle is roughing up Colin McHugh, and it's Logan Morrison who's doing most of the roughing. A pair of homers and 5 runs driven in for Morrison in his first 2 at bats. It's 8-0, and it's 2 innings in. Seattle over Houston. 1-1 to Cargo. Nice play by Latos. Got the ball and the out. And there's 2 outs. So Lomos hit a 2-run and a 3-run homer early in that ball game. Latos got the glove down.
A nice wingspan to make that pick. King Felix, a third of an inning. 5 hits, 8 runs last night.
You know, I think I finally figured out what I see with Latos, why he looks so much more crisp. He looks more in line to the catcher. Before, early in the year, he looked like he was a little bit rotational, falling off a little bit, not really staying behind his pitches, and I think that was affecting his command. Now he looks like he's more straight, more in line with the catcher. Everything looks so much more tighter. When he takes his turn, when he takes his step, when he's in the windup, when he takes his stride, the direction, when his arm comes out, everything looks much more in line.
Now, I get that, but I liked your comparison to television sets.
HD. I like the HD Latos.
Yeah, 2 innings ago where you said at the start of the year he looked like a pitcher who wasn't in high def, the old TV set, and now he looks like an HD. To left, Yelich turns around, looks up, and makes the catch. Going Arenado. A fly ball out, and a 1-2-3-4 for Matt Latos. Try the new meatball sub. Pick yours. And by Lexus of Pembroke Pines, price, service, selection. You're going to love us. On a late Saturday afternoon in Miami, 2-0 Marlins on top, bottom 4. A couple roster moves coming out of last night's ball game, coming into this weekend's games. Marlins had to do something to get Matt Latos off the DL. And Steve Cishek had straightened things out, and so they wanted to get him back into the bullpen. Kendry Flores and Andre Rienzo optioned to New Orleans.
And if you weren't with us last night, Derek Dietrich also joined the club. So he's on the roster.
Justin Bohr. Jeff Mathis and Danny Echeverria against David Hale, who, as Preston pointed out after that first inning, has really tightened up. Marlins' last hit was the Stanton double that drove home 2. There've only been 3 hits in this ballgame.
Oh, and this is when, as a Marlins lineup, you got to realize, look, we got a 2-0 lead, but we haven't done anything since that first inning. We got to get back with our game plan, figure out what we need to do against this guy, and have some more good at-bats strung together.
Hale's been throwing that changeup a lot to Bohr without success until there. And the count's 2-2.
Yeah, the last start for Hale was against the Cardinals. He got a lot of support, 11-3 win, but he did give up home runs to Colton Wong and John Jay.
Change up away, fastball in.
So I was surprised, Rich. It's always fun when you have an Ivy Leaguer, a third-round pick of the Braves. It was David Hale. So you think, okay, the other Princeton guys that got to the big leagues. We've seen a few over the years.
Well, you've got Chris Young, the big pitcher, and he was a basketball player, and his teammate on the basketball team, Will Venable, also got there.
Ross Ollendorf.
Oh, he's smart.
But not drafted as high as David Hale.
They asked Chris Young if he was smarter than Ollendorf. I remember reading an interview, and Young said, no way. Ollendorf is just like off the chart smart. Two coming. Pitch is in. Full count.
It's a good take by Justin Bohr. Sometimes when you got a guy who throws so many changeups, you kind of get caught in between you. So after that first changeup, then he jammed him inside with the fastball, letting him know he fouled it off. To be able to recognize a fastball in for a ball, it's a good move right there.
Or another changeup pulls it foul. The Washington Nationals, to me, unbelievably, are just one game over 500, 31-30. They were in Milwaukee and leading 3-2 in the bottom of the fourth.
Well, they have Ryan Zimmerman on the disabled list, Strasburg, Pfister, Jason Worth on the DL.
Still, that's a pretty good team. 4 strikes out. And we check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Well, we've got some of the best Marlins dogs in the park here. There you go, the big Great Dane. We'll get to him in a moment. Oh, we got Barkov over here with his Marlins jersey. And, of course, this is Rich's favorite, right? The
Mexican hairless.
The Mexican hairless by the name of Sochi.
Correct, Xochitl.
Big fan of the Olympic Games in the winters?
Yes. I don't think so. Marlins.
More of a Marlin fan. Yeah. Tell me why you like coming out here. Look at this play by Tulowitzki. Wow.
Well, I love to bring my dog here to the park so I can enjoy herself and myself watching the game. And hopefully the Marlins will win today.
Well behaved, and it really is hairless.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sorry?
Hairless.
Yes, she is hairless. Yeah.
All right, look. Very nice. And this is Barkov. We've met Barkov before, Gabby.
Yes, this is Barkov's second year here at Bark at the Park. He looks forward to it every year.
And it's amazing how well behaved all the dogs are. Take a look at this guy over here. And what is his name?
Spike.
Mr. Spike for us, right?
Yes.
How big is Spike?
38 inches.
48 inches and about
35 pounds.
135 pounds. He's a Great Dane. And that Marlin shirt, I'm assuming, is XL?
Oh, yeah. Extra large.
What kind of reaction are you getting for your dog here at the game?
Everybody's taking pictures. He's my boy.
He's a good fan, too. All right, guys, take it away.
All right, thanks. All right, we saw the Dachshunds with the batting helmets. David Hale, a 1-2-3-4. It's 2-0. The first pitch. Andres Galarraga, South Florida resident. 2-0 Miami. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for the series finale, which is tomorrow. Renee Latchman. Can't wait, because it's a chat with Craig and Latch. Lenny Harris all mic'd up from last night as well.
That was one of the best mic'd ups that we've had. Yeah, Lenny was great.
One of baseball's all-time greatest characters, greatest people to sit down and have a conversation with. He has the funniest style of storytelling. He just keeps you engaged, and it's always a good, funny time talking to Lenny Harris, and he's a good man on top of it.
Frank Menachino and Lenny Harris always talking hitting. Ben Paulson and Matt Latos. Fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. If you're just joining us, Matt Latos is as well. Just joined the ball club after a rehab stint. Sore knee, got a little too much to manage, and that trip into the minors to rehab, then make some starts, seemed to have sharpened him up considerably. Look at the ball strike ratio.
I think it also allowed him, his trip to the minors and for the rehab, allowed him to get some strength in the lower half to get that knee strong, because you're not going to throw as hard consistently as he is today unless you have that lower half strength.
Hey, look, I'm seeing a lot of swing and misses on high fastballs. That tells me that they're not picking him up well at all. You've seen a few of these balls belt high or above. They're swinging through. Saw Corey Dickerson do it. See Paulson right there do it. They're not picking up that high fastball.
He's always been a guy, even if he wasn't throwing 95, he's always been a guy that could get away with 89 and 91 because guys didn't pick him up well.
But you're right, when he is in the low 90s or mid 90s where he's touched, that makes him even more effective. Breaking ball misses away. By the way, we were talking about the Blue Jays and the Red Sox in the East. Russell Martin homered, and Toronto has won 10 in a row now. They beat Boston 5-4. That was in 11 innings. Marlins and Yankees on Monday night, and it's the first of 4 against the Yankees. 2 here, and then 2 in the Bronx.
Boston now 27 and 36.
And Toronto's 3 over.
A lot of things going on. Been some player disagreements. Pedroia, Hanley Ramirez. There was the John Farrell, Wade Miley situation in the dugout the other night.
The 3-1 pitch misses away. And McHenry, who walked back in the second, walks here in the 5th. Geico. Every telecast brings you a Marlins moment. Brett Barbary, the first inside the park home run. That was a 2-1 loss at the old Busch Stadium back in 1994.
Of course, who could forget the Mike Redmond inside the park home run?
That's true.
Dude, I feel like I came at a kind of these crossroads of baseball history. I played in the old Busch Stadium, and I was able to be on the Cardinals team in the inauguration of the new Busch Stadium. I played in the old Marlins ballpark, the pro player, all the different names that it went through. I get to be here in this ballpark.
We've introduced you here.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about inside the park home run?
I know.
No, never.
No inside the park.
Wow, with your speed, I would have guessed somewhere along the line.
They played too far back.
You need a collision or something for that to happen.
Yeah, you got to have somebody dive in, miss a ball, and nobody be behind him in center field, because that's what happened on Redmond's. Lance Berkman dove for that ball, and he was playing center field that day, and he wasn't playing very deep. And Red hit it on a line and it skipped past Berkman,
rolled all the way
out there into that big part of center field, and Red ran all day until he stumbled across the plate. But I was there to pick him up.
Here's the 0-2 to Barnes. Got him. Wow. Matt Latos, his 8th strikeout.
That's just pinpoint control. Nice little late movement. Great pitch.
The other thing nice about that, first of all, good framing. Great job by Jeff Mathis. But coming back from the walk to McHenry and then make pitches like that.
I think sometimes Latos gets caught up in trying to be a little bit too perfect, because he walked McHenry on that 3-2 pitch. I mean, the 3-1 pitch, and it was a fastball. Don't be afraid to get a little bit more of the plate right there.
Well, most of the night he's been able to get a lot of the plate with 8 strikeouts. The Rockies have just 1 hit. And this is the guy that the Marlins were hopeful for when they traded Anthony DeSclafani. And you know, just listening to Latos through the early part of the season, this is the guy that he wants to be. He was not happy. He's very candid about his performance. He's not a guy that sugarcoats much. If he doesn't pitch well, he'll say it. But right now, man, he is carving up the Rockies. Boy, he's throwing darts. 9 strikeouts for Matt Latos, the Coconut Creek kid, through 5 as a 2-0 lead. I like that little portable water dish. 2-0 Marlins on top. It's the annual Play Catch with Dad event. After the Marlins game tomorrow, a 1:10 start against the Rockies, you can treat Dad to the ultimate Father's Day gift a week early. The proceeds benefiting the Marlins RBI, reviving baseball in the inner city scholarship program. Time's running out, space is limited. Marlins.com/playcatch. Marlins.com/playcatch. David Hale gave up a 2-run double to Giancarlo Stanton in the first. Since then, the Marlins don't have a hit. They haven't sniffed a run. And here is Latos. D. Gordon and Martin Prado to follow.
David Hale is pitching backwards to most of the position players. I don't know how he's going to do Latos, but when he's ahead, he's gone more fastball. When he's been behind, he stayed more soft with the changeup and breaking ball. And since that first inning, he's having himself a pretty good ball game.
Latos swings and misses. Matt Latos 4 for 10 on the season with an RBI.
Yeah, he's had a good year with the bat. He's also had 6 sacrifice bunts. He's done a nice job in that department. Has 3 career home runs.
Swing and a miss.
That was not one of his more perfect swings right there. But he's forgiven with the day he's having on the mound.
Yeah, you can let that one slide.
He's got bigger things to worry about. So this is actually, on paper, it's a pitcher's duel right now. Even though Miami has a 2-0 lead, the Marlins have just 2 hits. The Rockies have just 1. And here's D. Gordon, a line drive single in the first. And he bounced back to the mound in the second. Bark at the park. Dogs have their own section.
I think they have their own favorites too. Favorite players. You get the little sleek ones who run fast. They like D. Gordon.
Oh yeah. Your Weimaraners, your Greyhounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-1.
I got to see Stan's more of like a boxer or a Great Dane or a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
You know, work dog,
Yeah.
big, strong.
Little bulldog could be like Jeff Mathis.
That's a Ramos right there. That's a Ramos.
Yeah. Ramos, Tom Kohler, Jeff Mathis.
Here's the 2-2. And it's out. We'll count 3-2. David Hale pitched well and beat St. Louis his last time out. And he elevates and strikes out D. Gordon with a live fastball. So 2 more strikeouts for Hale.
But he has really moved the ball around. Up and down, change-ups, 2-seamers in and out.
5 strikeouts to go with 3 walks. Prado now, he has 1 of each. Walked in the first, struck out in the third.
You know, and that's right out of that whole old Greg Maddux, Glavine mode of thinking. They're not going to let you zone in on one area. They'll throw you down and away. They'll throw you in and down. They'll throw you up and away. They'll figure out every part of the strike zone so that you can't just lock in on that one area and get good swings off consistently.
Prado sends it to right. Beyond the reach of Carlos Gonzalez.
Yeah, the Martin Prado dog would be the everyday consistent man. You know when he's going to come home.
He's a retriever.
Yeah, you know when he's going to come home.
That's a Labrador or golden retriever right there. That's the dog that everybody loves. You know exactly what you're going to get. Yeah.
Dog that's good in the clubhouse.
Absolutely.
Or the doghouse.
It's like my dog Bailey. She's a beauty.
Drive to center. Barnes is there. He makes the catch. David Hale has retired 7 straight.
on the light side of dogs here, and of course it's adopt opportunities, only $30 half price. My dog is here. Chumley does not realize that I am here, so we're going to surprise Chumley and say hello to him. He is a Weimaraner mix with a Labrador. And here he, hello Chumley. Hi buddy. Hello. No Marlin colors for Chumley. Sit down, buddy. Sit. All right.
Hey, what's up?
Tell me, Spencer's my daughter Spencer, why is Chumley such a good pet?
Well, Craig, he is a very nice, sweet, friendly dog for all ages.
Yes, he is. For Max here and his buddies Josh and Ian. Chum, sit down for a sec so we can see it. He's usually better behaved here. Come here, sit down.
What's up?
All right. Chumley's having a good time. First time at Bark at the Park for Chumley. Max, what makes him such a good pet? You got a comment on him?
Well, he's just a great all-around dog, you know. From eating my wallets to eating my shoes, you know, he's just a great dog.
Great dog to have. All right, guys. Bark at the Park is fun for all, and again, it's a great opportunity to adopt a pet. You can come down to the ballpark outside as well. $30 to adopt a pet. How about that?
Matt Latos to the plate. Now, Craig, the name Chumley, how did you pick that? Was that a Tennessee Tuxedo
It is,
reference?
yes. It's not from Pawn Stars. You know, if you remember, the sidekick on Tennessee Tuxedo was kind of a silly walrus named Chumley. And when I saw him, he's brown, he's silly, he's got the whiskers. And so I thought Chumley would be a perfect name. Plus, Rich, I get to go, okay, Chumley. That's my favorite part.
Outstanding. All right, thank you, Craig. That one line down the right field corner.
You know what, Rich? We get just as excited as Chumley when we see Craig every day.
Tell you what, that was a good-looking dog. He was excited to be at the ballpark, doing a little spinning in circles there.
He's like
look at him.
He's like the first dog of Marlins television.
Maybe our broadcast team mascot.
DJ LeMahieu, Corey Dickerson, Troy Tulowitzki. 1-2 pitch from Latos. And that is in the dirt. Matt Latos has been terrific in this ball game. Off the disabled list. And he has been roaring since the first pitch. 5 innings, a hit, no runs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts.
I feel like the time off, the rehab stint did 2 things for him. It allowed him to get in a little better shape because now he doesn't have the knee issue, so now he can condition a little bit better.
LeMahieu fights that one off, drills it into the gap, cut off there by Ozuna. And the Rockies have a leadoff double from the top of their order, DJ LeMahieu.
Oh, so he got in better shape, but it also allowed him to fix any mechanical flaws that he feel like he had, because right now he looks so much more confident and so much more in control of what he's doing out there on the mound.
Good adjustment on that pitch by LeMahieu. Came in on him, but he was quick to it. It's only the second time in this game the Rockies have had a man on second base. They're 0 for 7 in this series with runners in scoring position, yet they lead the major leagues with a .305 average, runners in scoring position.
That is amazing, and they've got individuals all throughout the lineup who have averages with runners in scoring position, the high 300s, low 400s. Troy Tulowitzki on deck. Dickerson with a count 0-1. Dickerson doesn't get cheated. Counts 0-2.
Boy, think about the strikeouts from Matt Latos today. 9. His career high is 13. Done that a few times.
Little tapper. Echeverria gets the out. Holding second is LeMahieu. And here comes Tulowitzki. A reminder that H.H. Gregg is presenting today's Selfie Saturday. Post your best selfie while watching Marlins baseball and use the hashtag #SelfieSaturdayMarlins. And show the best picture on Marlins Live postgame. Now that's what you want. You don't see too many Huskies down this area. Come on. Smile pretty. Now Tulowitzki. As Tommy pointed out, he's one of the guys with gaudy numbers, 378 with runners in scoring position. He made an incredible play in this ball game, robbing Jeff Mathis of a hit in the 4th inning. Kind of a jump throw across the diamond and just got Mathis. Ball and strike.
I think somebody got crossed up right there. Anytime you see the catcher on a swing and miss pop up like that and get right out to the mound, they weren't on the same page.
Mathis drawing that assignment today to catch Latos. Expect JT Realmuto in there tomorrow.
Boy, what a big home run, through-run homer in the 8th inning last night for JT. It really opened things up.
Marlins will see a lefty tomorrow, Jorge De La Rosa, and Dan Herron on the mound for Miami. 1-1 to Tulowitzki. Runner goes, pitch is up, and Mathis stumbles on the throw. I don't know whether he caught a spike or got tangled up with Tulowitzki.
I think he just tried to get rid of it quickly because LeMahieu got such an unbelievable jump, and he just tried to almost transition as if he's throwing. May have caught something too, but he just tried to get rid of that ball in a hurry. Really never had a chance.
That's good heads up base running by LeMahieu. He saw Latos not paying attention to him. He was measuring him out throughout these last few pitches, and then just took off and got a great jump.
He puts himself 90 feet away with 1 out. Tulowitzki can chase home a run with a ground ball up the middle. Instead, it's a liner into center field. A base hit, and the Rockies are on the board. Ozuna picks it up. Tulowitzki, his first hit of the ball game. It extends his hit streak to 12 straight. In the Rockies booth. Oh, JP.
Yeah. Good to see JP all the time. So I'm a lot in spring training, working with D. Gordon.
It was one of my favorite moments of spring training when D. Gordon, was it Gordon that came out in Juan Pierre's jersey?
Yeah, yeah.
Gonzalez. Gordon on the hop, gets it out, Etch's turn is not in time. Boy, it was close. And that's a tough double play to navigate. First for Gordon's throw, and then for Etch's turn.
First, Carlos Gonzalez thinks he might have a hit. Now he's running for his life to stay out of a double play. Look at the footwork, the transition of Echeverria, the strong throw, but
wow.
I think he just beat it, but it was a whole lot closer than I thought.
That nuance that Echeverria had on the turn was Tulowitzki was sliding to the outside of the bag, and Etch knew it, and so he took the throw and darted inside.
Think about that. Thinking of all those things while the runner's coming and then catching the ball at the same time is Echeverria.
Remember, back of the glove is where the ball has to be when the foot arrives. It looked like he just beat it.
Day after day, I'm realizing that with these two up the middle, we're seeing something special. Their athletic ability, both of them have good arm strength, both of them have good game awareness. To have those two playing in the middle of your diamond that's a luxury for the Miami Marlins.
Here's Nolan Arenado. It's a luxury. It's also a luxury by design, because the Marlins really targeted Echeverria when they made that trade with the Blue Jays. Gordon has been a target over the last couple of years.
With all the men who started at short last year, or second base last year, 6 or 7 guys started at second base. Now there's some solidification there. You got a guy who's a leadoff man. With the Marlins acquiring D. Gordon, they got more than just a second baseman. They got a leadoff man too, and there are teams around baseball that would die for a leadoff guy like D.
Or a second baseman like D.
There's some teams out there who are dying without a second baseman and a leadoff guy like D.
That's exactly right.
Arenado, a dangerous bat, and Latos throws over to first. Dozen doubles, 15 home runs, singled in the second. Hit a ball to the warning track. Christian Yelich made a nice catch on in the fourth. Yelich got kind of turned around, but got to the spot exactly and made the catch. Arenado fouls it off. We have the best audio, not only in the ballpark, but in our production truck. Mark Butler and everybody. Chris Carroll, Bobby Dorfman as well. Adam Leifert. We don't want to apologize for them, but we do apologize every now and then.
Well, there are times that we apologize for them too.
Every now and then we pick something up on the microphone that we'd rather not broadcast. It's one of the perils of live sports.
You got to wonder now if you're going to start seeing a little bit of action in the Marlins bullpen. Latos is up to 86 pitches, kind of getting into that spot now, 6th or 7th inning. You know, how far do you want to stretch him out? He's got a good outing going. Bullpen's still kind of fresh from the last few days. They haven't had to work too much. Got to wonder what the leash is like from Dan Jennings here.
Well, you're right with the starts from David Phelps and Jose Urena. Those starts just help the bullpen, so the bullpen's in pretty good shape today.
They got 8 from Phelps, 6 2/3 from Urena.
But Arenado is one giant fast twitch muscle, isn't he? I mean, he's in constant motion, whether he's at third or at bat.
He's also 4 for 5 in a short career against Matt Latos, so he sees him pretty well. He's had some good swings in this at bat too.
Two pitch coming. Gonzalez runs. Arenado hits center field, and it's caught there by Ozuna. Matt Latos gives up a run, but he doesn't give up the lead. It's 2-1 Miami. Bark at the park. We have, by Craig's estimate, about 500 dogs. And, of course, their owners. The Marlins bark at the park traditionally around baseball is one of the better attended by the Pooches and their owners. You can't keep Charlie Blackmon off the field, can you?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Brandon Barnes goes to left.
That's goes back to Dickerson going up the line the last time he batted. Dickerson was thrown out by Echeverria, and in watching him about 3/4 of the way up, he kind of pulled up. Remember, he was on the disabled list with plantar fasciitis, so you wonder if that's acted up again.
Yeah, it's also, you got his first 2 at bats he struck out, and then he had a man on second base with nobody out and didn't get the job done. So it could be that as well.
Christian Yelich leads off the bottom of the 6th with a hit to right. That brings up Giancarlo Stanton. Marcell Ozuna also scheduled. That is the first hit the Marlins have had since the Stanton double back in the 1st that drove home both runs.
Boy, the importance too of that, with Yelich getting on base, Stanton didn't see a whole lot to hit in the 3rd inning. You have to think he'll see more pitches to hit here with a runner already on.
Stanton takes outside. He just looks, just watching him in the 2 at-bats tonight, Tommy, he looks so much more relaxed than he did even a week ago. He started. He had loaded and just started and then stopped it. That was a tantalizingly slow one.
He locked and loaded and was able to hold up. Not easy to do.
Counts 2-0. Yelich, good speed at first. That time he cut loose and missed. It's 2-1.
I don't mind that 2-0. Turn it loose. But also keep in mind who you're facing and realize that this guy has been pitching backwards, especially to the middle of the lineup today. So now you get back into that thought mode.
Got that changeup.
There it is. The pitch is behind 2-1, but instead of coming with a fastball like most pitchers do when they're behind, he's going to throw something soft, changeup or breaking ball. That's what we mean by working backwards.
And they are almost perfect pitches too.
You would expect if he threw it 2-0 and he threw it 2-1, you got no issues throwing it 2-2. Stanton drives it left field and deep, and gone. 2-run shot. A one-man wrecking crew in right field for Miami. Giancarlo Stanton has driven in all 4 of Miami's runs. He has 5 homers in his last 6 games. 23 on the season. Incredible.
David Hale, I think, is going to think about the pitch selection. Maybe not so much the selection, but the location.
You know what, Rich, when you said will he throw it the 3rd time, I was going to say there's a caveat to that. You throw it 3 times in a row if a guy's swinging and flinging at it and not seeing it at all. You don't throw it that 3rd time in a row when the guy's locked in like this.
Stanton leaning a little bit. He goes, I don't want this thing to go foul. And Hale knew it. Oh, Hale.
It stays fair. Into the blue seats, and Lenny Harris hands the football. Inside elbow up. That's proper form for a running back. 4-1 Miami.
59 RBIs now for Giancarlo on the year.
He's after somebody's record.
The amazing thing, too, for Stanton, 59 RBIs. This is game number 62 for him.
But again, it goes back to the importance of Yelich or whoever is in front of him to get on base. Then it's more likely he'll see better stuff to hit.
You know, it's almost like that one run in the top of the sixth that the Rockies scored woke up the Marlins lineup a little bit and say, look, we haven't done anything since this guy since the first inning. Let's get back on it. Let's realize what's happening out here. And they respond with 2 in the bottom of the 6th so far.
You mentioned Miami's bullpen getting a little antsy with Matt Latos in the top of the 6th. The Rockies bullpen, nobody stirring yet for Hale. High pop. Paulson out. LeMahieu on the scene as well, and it's Paulson who makes the catch. With that beard, he needs just a little bit longer hair, and then he gets the Todd Helton look, doesn't he?
Yeah. Todd had a great head of hair. He had that long hair flopping out the back there. I tell you what, you can swing it like Todd Helton could, though. You don't worry about it.
Here's the other thing to consider about Stanton, who had 21 homers at the All-Star break last year. So he's got 23 now here in mid-June. His 23rd home run last year came in game number 96. This is number 62.
Remember the first 9-10 games, 2 weeks of the season, people were worried. He didn't have a home run first 9 games. Now 17 of his last 23 hits are extra base hits, and 11 of those are home runs.
And isn't it amazing that year after year that you have to keep telling people, you know what, if this was 9 games in July, would you really be saying he doesn't have any home runs? But just because it's the first 9 games of the season, it's such a big deal. And you know what, we're going to have to tell him again next year about somebody in that same scenario.
Justin Bour. Now the changeup for Bour has been a trouble pitch today. He struck out and was intentionally walked back in the first.
See, and what that changeup and the slow breaking ball that he's seen more of, what that's done, it's kept him off the fastball that we saw him attack and hit really well.
Well, Hale is only showing him a fastball. If he stays true to form, there's going to be another changeup right here.
Threw him a fastball.
Did him a favor.
And Tulowitzki bounces the throw. Paulson picks it. That's the second out of the 6th inning. Here comes Jeff Mathis.
So Hale has done a good job, Kevin, keeping Justin Bour just guessing all game. Just seemed like every time Justin Bour was looking for the fastball, got the changeup. When he's looking for the changeup, he gets the fastball.
Jeff Mathis 0 for 2, robbed of a hit on the great leaping throw by Troy Tulowitzki back in the 4th. Mets and Braves are in a tight one right now in the bottom of the 7th up in New York, and Atlanta has a 1-0 lead. A Freddie Freeman homer which landed on the bridge at Citi Field. 1-0 Atlanta, bottom 7. Mathis sends it in the air to left center. Charlie Blackmon in the game there to make the catch, but Miami has 2 more. Guess who? He drove in the first 2 with a double. He drives in the next 2 with home run number 23. He's driven in all 4. Giancarlo That gentleman is in quite a zone himself. Giancarlo Stanton has driven in all 4, a 2-run double, a 2-run homer. He leads baseball in home runs. He leads baseball in RBIs. And right now he's leading Miami to a 4-1 lead into the 7th against the Rockies. Tommy has Gente de Zona on his iPhone. And of course, if you're enjoying the telecast, you might want to log in and give Giancarlo some all-star love along with D. Gordon. Maybe throw Echeverria in there.
Absolutely. You want everybody around the country to see those 2 and maybe 3.
Ben Paulson swings and misses. Now on the other side, the Thunder has been supplied by Giancarlo Stanton. On the mound, Matt Latos has taken the baton from Jose Urena, who took it from David Phelps. And the Marlins have turned in 3 really nice starts in this series against the Rockies, and Latos strikes out his 10th of the night. How about that? The series concludes tomorrow, 1:10 start. You can pick up the Pepsi 4 for $74 pack. Get 4 tickets, 4 KM beef franks, 4 Pepsis for $74, and all fans get a Marlins recyclable tote bag, courtesy of MLB Network. Kids can run the bases of the Diamond Dash. Go to marlins.com.
The strikeouts today, Rich and Preston, for Matt Latos, a season high for a Marlin pitcher this year. He actually did that with 9. He has 10 now.
I'm looking at the poor swings I'm seeing, especially from these really good, solid left-handed batters in this Colorado Rockies lineup.
This is the one guy that he's had trouble with. You look at the bats in this line: LeMahieu, Dickerson, Blackman, Tulowitzki, Cargo, Nolan Arenado, Ben Paulson. Well, it's Michael McHenry, whom Latos has walked twice. Rockies bullpen active.
Brooks Brown.
Ozuna in full flight at the wall, and he can't get it. It bangs off the wall. McHenry scampers around second on his way to third. That is a long ways out there, well over 400 feet, and then you got to go up. The wall at that point is probably around 10-11 feet.
So still having trouble with Michael McHenry. Good effort by Ozuna. He couldn't quite get there in time, though.
Yeah, any ball Ozuna doesn't get, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that ball was just uncatchable. He's been so good. It has to be a lot to show me that he did something wrong on a route or a play to misplay a ball. Great swing by McHenry.
First triple of the year for McHenry.
Well, because that ball would have been a home run in every other ballpark.
Here's Brandon Barnes. Little ground ball right side. Runner stops. Bohr drops it, picks it up, and gets the out. And for whatever reason, Michael McHenry didn't come home.
He had, what do they call it, Preston, a brain cramp?
I don't know what kind of cramp that was, but that's just not being prepared for the play. The first baseman's playing back. It's a slow chopper. All of those things tell you to go. The play is in front of him. It's not to the third baseman or the shortstop. There's no reason for him to not be at home right here. He just got caught in between and not ready for that play, and he cost himself a run, and more importantly, he cost his teammate an RBI.
And his third base coach, they've kind of flipped things. Eric Young over there. Usually he's at first. Usually Stu Cole's over there. He's away for a high school graduation. Tom Runnels is at first. And I guarantee you, Eric Young gave him all of those things before the play. First baseman's back. Ground ball, you're going.
Yeah, you got to be ready to go. I mean, that run could be a difference in this ball game. Having a 3-run lead by the other team as opposed to, there's a lot less mistakes, a lot less room for error that those pitchers have facing your lineup. and you pretty much forfeited a run because you're not mentally prepared for a situation.
So Rafael Inoa, he's going to pinch hit here with 2 outs. Laitos up with a fastball.
And the other part of it, you don't get all the high fives when you come in the dugout. Now, you hit a triple, you score a run, you come in, everybody shaking your hand. You hit a triple and don't score. Now it's, well, you know, way to swing it, but.
Inoa squares and takes a strike. Miami's bullpen is active. Laitos on the verge of 100 pitches. Steve Cishek is starting his routine. Mike Dunn has been loosening up, so he's close to being ready. A good bat.
Good bat, a good pinch hitter this year too. Remember, we told you in his minor league rehab start, Matt Laitos, last time out, even though just 4 2/3, he threw 99 pitches. So he got that part of him build up to get to this point, 100 pitches in this game.
Breaking ball got him. Matt Laitos, 11 strikeouts. And he holds it right there at 4-1. 7 marvelous innings. 4-1 fish.
Rich, thank you very much. We wanted to give the story behind this because it is a big day. Bark at the Park is a lot of fun for the fans to bring their dogs out, but there's a purpose behind it. Lorna Mejia is here from Animal Services, the Miami-Dade Animal Services, and good day for you guys. Tell us about it.
It was an amazing day to be here at Marlins Park with all the fans who brought their dogs, and we brought in over 100 dogs to be adopted, and so far we have 118 adoptions so far. Wow. Community adoptions thanks to the Marlins and the Ayuda team.
So today 118 dogs adopted right here at the ballpark.
That's correct. Not only did we have 118 adoptions, but we also had we also offered free spay-neuter services for cats and dogs, and we had vaccines available for any members that wanted to, the public who wanted to bring their dogs in today to get vaccinated.
Now the adoption will go through the end of the game, and even after the end of the game, if somebody was in the area, are there still dogs to be adopted or no?
Absolutely. We have a lot of lovable, wonderful dogs that are still in need of a really good home, and so we're asking the community to come out and add a new addition to your family.
And we had over, at least early estimates, over 500 dogs, and at $10 a ticket, some nice money raised for.
It was a lot of donations that we're able to raise today. So it was a wonderful day for everyone involved. Thank you so much.
And the Marlins are leading too. Nicely done. Thank you, Lorna.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
All right, that's good news, guys. Let's go back to you.
Craig, they really do a nice job, the Marlins and the Humane Society, with the Bark at the Park. It's one of the, as we've said it around baseball, it's one of the better attended barks at the park.
And the Marlins will have another in August, I believe.
You heard the ovation for Ichiro. And he'll stand in and get a pinch hitting appearance here. With 1 out. And strike from Brooks Brown. Takes over for David Hale. Hale would go 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, struck out 5, walked 3, and obviously the 2 at bats that changed his day were both Giancarlo Stanton at bats. 2-run double, 2-run homer.
Well, you love to see this, and it's almost as if with the starting rotation now, it's can you top this? David Phelps, his 8 innings, Urania, and now an 11 strikeout performance, 7 innings from Matt Latos.
Sam Dyson getting ready. Ichiro gets a 3-1 pitch to look at here.
Urania all smiles, his first major league win last night.
Well, you really got to give Chuck Hernandez a lot of credit, as well as the coaches in the minor leagues that were able to get Urania here. But once Urania got here, Tommy, his first couple of starts were not good ones. And Chuck was able to iron things out, calm him down, get him through. And all of a sudden, he's produced 2 really quality starts.
Chuck's probably one of the best at saying, hey, look, he's 23. He just got here. He's been in A, AA, AAA this year for just a little bit.
One of the hardest things to do is to bring that blood pressure down, get that heart rate down when it's your first few experiences on a major league field.
Yeah, you hear the term slow the game down when you get here. There's his last 3 starts have all been of the quality variety, 3 earned runs or less in 6+ innings.
And look at the teams. The Rockies twice. It's hard to face in the big leagues back-to-back teams. You know, especially as a rookie, they see you one time, the next time you're vulnerable. That didn't happen. And then the other start was against the Cubs, and they've got plenty of thunder in that lineup. Ichiro feeding a steady diet of foul balls right now.
He's just out there Ichiroing. That's all he's doing.
And he walks.
I love the way Ichiro lays his bat down. He takes such great care of his bats that when he draws the walk, he lays it down so gently on the ground.
There was a game, and I can't recall if it was early in his major league career or early in Japan, where he had an offer and he slammed his bat, threw his bat, and after the ball game, he felt awful, and ever since then, he's handled it with great care. He keeps them in a humidor, a traveling humidor.
I thought you were going to tell me he apologized to the bat.
Swing and a miss. Ichiro steals the bag, balls into center. Ichiro's on his way to third.
Hey, 51, what you doing? I'm just out here Ichiroing, that's all. Draw a walk, steal a bag, advance on overthrow.
Hey, the
just
man
Ichiroing.
is 41 years old. Look at him.
You're never too old to Ichiro, baby. You're never too old to Ichiro.
There's got to be a dance craze in Japan, the Ichiro.
If not, I'm going to start.
There it is. He picks up the ball right away, too.
You know you're a superstar and a Hall of Famer when your name becomes a verb. Now the infield's in for D. Gordon. Brooks Brown. Gordon takes outside.
Ichiro's just one of those guys that just does everything right. He's taking his lead off on that pitch when it crossed the plate. He comes back inside the baseline. He just does everything right.
You know, he's closing in, and we talk about all the numbers that Ichiro has compiled. He has 5 stolen bases this year. That gives him 492. He's closing in on 500 steals, as well as everything else.
it's not just the Marlin players, but opposing players in the National League that haven't really had a chance to talk to him or play against him. You see Arenado picking his brain at third base. And that's a generation of players that grew up watching Ichiro when he was in his prime in Seattle, early 2000s, MVP and Rookie of the Year in 2001.
Yeah, you got Arenado over there, who's 24 years old.
When he broke the all-time record for hits in a season, that was a big, big deal. That was 2004. Gordon fouls it back. Ichiro, 262 hits that year. It was a record that had stood since 1920. George Sisler. And Ichiro had an incredible September, got close. The Sisler family was in attendance. It was an incredible scene that night in Seattle. Gordon pulls it foul.
One of the things Dee Gordon has seen, he's seen a steady diet of high fastballs with 2 strikes. They're trying to go up in that area to get him.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job on that 2-2 count, laying off that high fastball. It's a good take.
Well, if you're going to talk about numbers, you have to recognize that Alex Rodriguez, going into the game tonight in Baltimore, is 6 away from 3,000. The Marlins and the Yankees will play 4 consecutive games starting on Monday. It's a good pitch from Brown. Gordon strikes out. And it's up to Prado to chase home this run. No matter how you feel about Alex Rodriguez and his accomplishments, that number is a pretty large number.
Yeah, he's also, I believe, 1 RBI shy of 2,000. I don't know how much playing time he'll get in this series, because about a month ago he played a little bit at first. He was some at third, but he's been DHing for the most part. I don't know if he'll be in the lineup. Teixeira's been hot. Headley's been playing third.
It certainly will add some drama to our 4 telecasts starting Monday night. If not in the DH role here, certainly in a pinch hitting role. And then on to Yankee Stadium.
And certainly he'll get his at-bats in New York.
There are some that have argued, as interleague play has continued, that they should flip-flop the DH rules and let the DH into the games in National League cities, and then let the pitchers hit in the American League cities, because American League cities don't get to see that. They don't get to see their manager trying to figure out what to do in the 5th inning when his starter is faltering and he's down by a run. There's a 1-1. Prado hits it hard. Tulowitzki backs up, has it, and gets the out. And the Marlins leave a runner at third. 7 in the books. And right now, it's 4-1 Miami.
G show today. There's Big G, first inning. He thought it was out, but off the wall, 2 bases, ends up driving in 2 runs. The Marlins had a 2-0 lead. In the 6th inning, Tulowitzki with a base hit after a double by LeMahieu. They get one back, cut the lead, a 2-1 ball game. But you know what? That guy Big G showed up again. Giancarlo with a blast on a changeup, his 23rd home run. Stanton with 4 RBIs today has 23 home runs, 59 RBIs on the year. Not to mention the Matt Latos show, 7 innings, 11 strikeouts. Latos has just been tremendous. He'll turn it over to the bullpen now.
So a big afternoon for Stanton. A really nice start for Matt Latos. 3 dynamite starts for the Marlins rotation in this series. Sam Dyson gets the top of the order. DJ LeMahieu, Charlie Blackmon, Troy Tulowitzki. Dyson throws a strike. LeMahieu, a double in the 6th. Saw the Tulowitzki hit that scored him. Liner to right, Stanton in there, and he makes the catch. Good crowd on this Saturday afternoon. 26,647.
Dan Jennings getting in a situation where things are looking better and falling into shape better in the bullpen. He's got guys like Dyson and Caps. I know he feels comfortable in bringing them in the 8th inning. He feels good with A.J. Ramos. We talked about Steve Cishek being recalled. He'll fit in there somewhere. Mike Dunn's had a good run. So all of a sudden things looking a lot better in that bullpen.
It's always nice when a reliever comes in, and even though he gives up a hard hit ball, gets that first out, kind of puts him into a nice comfort zone. Dyson looking for hopefully a hold right here. Last time out against Colorado, pitched an inning, ended up with a win. It's back on June 7th.
LaTroy Hawkins, who's been pitching.
Preston, there's LaTroy Hawkins. Your dad played against LaTroy Hawkins.
I was just going to say.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Well before Preston was in the big leagues, LaTroy Hawkins was a Minnesota Twin, it seems. Not really. Blackmon into center field. A base hit. Ozuna picks it up.
I played against LaTroy Hawkins. Let me tell you something. That he's one of the nicest people you ever meet, and he's a consummate professional, and he still throws over 90+ miles an hour.
We had the matchup the other night. Hawkins at 42 against Ichiro 41, and Ichiro got him with a base hit.
LaTroy's always been one of those guys where you know what you're going to get when he's on your roster. He's always going to be prepared. He's always going to be ready. He's been durable throughout his career. Good live fastball, good curveball.
Tulowitzki bailed out on a breaking ball, and it was a strike.
Well, you know, the scouting report, and he's seen mostly hard two-seamers and changeups from Sam Dyson. All of a sudden, Dyson said, I got a breaking ball, too.
That's a big old bouquet of oopsie daisies.
Throw to first. Guys, we were talking about the time Ichiro threw his bat. We have great fans in our crack staff across the country. Brian tweeted in the rest of the story. He actually wrote a letter to the bat manufacturer and apologized.
So he did apologize to the bat.
Did. Apologized to the bat and to the manufacturer.
I got to catch up on some letters. I got to write.
Yeah, you have a few. You have some apologizing to do.
Then again, as many times I struck out, I think my bats ought to apologize to me sometimes.
Runner goes. Great jump. And a stolen base. Charlie Blackmon now in scoring position.
This can't be a one-way relationship.
Ball and a strike to Troy Tulowitzki.
Blackmon leading their club in steals. That's his 14th.
12:30 start, Marlins live, and a 1 o'clock finale of this 4-game series. Miami's won the first 2. They're in a position to win this if they can get the last 5 outs. Breaking ball again.
There it is again.
And this one, Tulowitzki asking if it's in. It's on the plate. Now he's asking Mathis.
You say somebody tell me something, because I don't see it.
Mathis will just say check Fox Tracks.
If you have that pitch tracking widget in your back pocket, pull it out. Blackman dancing from second. Giancarlo Stanton due up bottom of the 8th. He's driven in all 4 runs. He now has 59 on the season. 62 games.
Also gotten his average over 260.
Outside corner. Boy, you talk about great at bats for hitters. What about this sequence for Sam Dyson?
Well, he had Tulowitzki thinking about a little bit of everything. Saw the 2 breaking balls and then just paints a fastball right there.
98 miles an hour on that last pitch. Not only was it perfectly placed, it had a whole lot of petrol behind it. Try to say that 3 times.
So Sam Dyson gets 2 outs, and he'll give the ball up to Dan Jennings. Mike Dunn, a Kendall Toyota call to the bullpen. Top of 2 outs. Everyone's on their mobile device. H.H. Gregg taking advantage of that, and a Saturday in which 26,000 are here. Has a selfie Saturday going on. It's presented by H.H. Gregg. Post your best selfie while watching Marlins baseball. Or your best selfie, but watching Marlins baseball probably will get you on the show. Hashtag selfie Saturday Marlins. And the best selfie, probably not the ones Tommy and I took during our pregame on camera episode, but we'll put it on the postgame show. Here's Mike Dunn. Carlos Gonzalez is the hitter. Now behind Gonzalez is a really dangerous right-handed bat in Arenado, and the Marlins have A.J. Ramos up in the pen right now. Dunn misses up. So it would seem And correct me if I'm wrong, that Dunn is in here for one hitter, and that's Carlos Gonzalez.
I would say that is accurate. I think you'd have to bring in a righty to face Arenado.
Especially if that happens, he'd be representing the tying run.
There's Ramos. Ramos worked a scoreless inning last night. A patented cargo swing. Full extension. Release that top hand. Some guys are two-hand swingers. Freddie Freeman hit that long homer in New York. One of the guys that usually keeps two hands on the bat. Nice job by Dunn to get out in front 1-2. Got him. Mike Dunn comes in and takes care of business. Strikes out Carlos Gonzalez. Dyson and Dunn take care of the top of the 8th. Giancarlo's coming up in the bottom half. He's driven in all 4 in a 4-1 Miami lead. Marlins Park, Giancarlo Stanton has driven in all 4 with a 2-run double and a 2-run homer. Stanton due up second. Christian Yelich. Marcell Ozuna slotted 3rd in the inning.
Our crack staff has been having some fun. John Chimchuk with LaTroy Hawkins, who has actually faced Roberto Alomar and Cal Ripken Jr., 2 Hall of Famers.
Now he's facing Christian Yelich. Yelich up the middle. Tulowitzki collects. Just beats him at first. Yelich with a 1-for-4 day, and he scored twice MLB.TV is the #1 live streaming sports service. Celebrates 13 years. Highlights, look-ins, pitch tracking widget, all in HD. And it's all on your mobile device. Visit MLB.TV for details. All right, here's Stanton now facing Hawkins. Fastball in. Hawkins backing him off the plate a bit. See the numbers against Colorado. Just in case you missed it, here's the day that was. This was first inning. This one was almost a 2-run homer. This one was a 2-run homer. That was in the 6th. There's a 1-1. Bouncer towards third. Arenado cuts it off and gets it. Actually, had the ball gone out in the first, that would have been a 3-run homer. As it is, driving in 4 in one day and driving in 59 in 62 games will have to do.
Second in the league, 49 for Bryce Harper.
Ozuna out to Tulowitzki. And Miami's done here in the 8th. To the 9th. 4-1 Fish. By your South Florida Honda dealers. By Kubota. For more information, find a participating dealer. Go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by Kaiser University. For more information, go to Kaiser.edu. Lazy Saturday afternoon in Miami. And a 4-1 Marlins lead. A.J. Ramos in a safe situation, trying to nail it down in the 9th.
Thing in the ballgame last night, Rich, when A.J. came in to work, and he worked a really nice 9th inning, 1-2-3. He was warming up at the time. It was a safe situation. The big 3-run homer by JT Realmuto took care of that. But I think because of the big home run he allowed in Toronto, just to come back, settle in, pitch the way he did last night was good for him.
Well, a game like that can tear you down or it can build you up. See if Ramos is able to build off that, use that as fuel moving forward. Nolan Arenado swings and misses. Ben Paulson, Michael McHenry scheduled in the 9th for the Rockies. Marlins trying to make it 3 in a row in this series and a chance to win their 5th out of 6 games against the Rockies this year. Marlins know the pain and suffering that comes with getting swept. It's happened to them too much this year. If they win this game, they'll have a shot at doing that in a 4-game set to the Rockies. I think he went. Arenado did. Mathis tags him out. Our Toyota trend tonight. The Rockies play the 8th game in a stretch of 17 games in 17 days. Right now they are 3-4, and those 4 losses are all Marlin losses.
Well, the Rockies finish the series here tomorrow, then head to Houston for just a 2-game stop, and then back home to Houston, a couple of games with them, Milwaukee, to finish out that run.
Paulson swings and misses.
Hey, Ramos is a guy that more and more people are going to start recognizing him as a guy who has a full complement of pitchers, as a guy in the closer role, and great swing and miss stuff. And one more swing, and the Marlins pitchers will rack up 15 strikeouts tonight. They already got 14 against this good hitting Rockies lineup.
Paulson's gone down swinging twice. Dan Herron slated to go tomorrow for Miami.
Coming off a no decision, but just a tremendous outing in Toronto against the Blue Jays. That matchup that had Herron and Burley.
He got him.
There's that swing and miss stuff, Preston.
2 strikeouts, 2 hitters faced, and Ramos needs 1 more out. Marlins Live after the game brought to you by Checkers. The Fish winning that series in Colorado and then getting swept by a blistering hot Toronto team.
They've stayed hot too.
They won their 10th in extra innings on a Russell Martin homer today against Boston. But now the Fish bounce back. They've won the first 2. They're an out away from taking the first 3.
So Ramos is kind of like a big boxer. He got a little bit of something for everybody. He's got that slider for the righties. He's got that changeup for the lefties.
Is that where you would get the HD Matt Latos in a big box store?
Absolutely.
That's 0-2.
That swing right there. Back when I was playing, you'd see a whole bunch of guys just laying on each other in the dugout. And when you got back in, they said, wow, you out there waving the magic wand out there. Oh, wow. I don't miss those days, Tommy.
Especially facing a guy like Ramos.
0-2's out. One and 2. 26,000. .96 with a fastball.
A win, Rich, will also take the Marlins to 7-5 here in the month of June.
2-2.
If there's one thing that I've seen in Ramos is that when he gets 2 outs, sometimes he tries to make that exclamation point pitch. You know, and him being the closer, he's got to realize he is the exclamation point. When they put him out there, just him out there alone is going to seal this game up. You don't have to try extra hard for that last pitch to make a statement.
In the air, center field, Ozuna's there, and he makes the catch. Ball game. Marlins win it 4-1, and the Fish have won 3 in a row. A.J. Ramos gets the save. Matt Latos was terrific. And Giancarlo Stanton took care of the offense, driving in all 4 runs. His major league leading total now.